In this video, we're going to get started on the heel board repair sections. So we need a section that sort of goes in here and also another piece to go there. Okay, so the progress so far, I've cut this back a fair bit now and just removed all that old bit of floor panel. So that's all good. There was a section of rust up here near the battery support parts. So that's been cut out and it just need a patch to go into there. So that's actually this panel here. The actual heel board itself is good. You can see the heel board through there. So this panel sits on top of it. And then also it needs an angle sort of shaped bracket to go into here. That's the bottom of the heel board as well. It's just the shape of it there. So that section will need a piece to go on there so it's level with the actual heel board. This actual piece here is a separate piece that's sort of stuck right on the end of it. So there's a few different layers here. So I've got to get it right. So this section is pretty much just an L-shaped bracket from there to there. So this section is fine. Like this board that's stuck on the back, it's sort of just like a trapezoidal sort of shaped piece that just covers there. I think just to give it a bit more support. All right, so let's get started on making a template for here first of all. All right, so a bit of just a close-up view. So in that section there, it needs a rectangular shaped piece of steel to fill in, which is part of that section there. And then of course, down along here, it needs like an L-shaped bracket. There is a curve and it's sort of at this point here. So I need to figure out the best way to do it. It may be the one piece down here, put a slit in it, and then I can bend it in that direction. So there are many different ways that you can do this. Using a cardboard template sort of makes it a bit easier to sort of work out the size that the panel will need to be. So to try and get it exact, because it's not a complete rectangle, so I just need to get this side adjusted. So you can put a mark where it lines up at the bottom, and then of course do a similar thing at the top. That'll sort of help get one side or this side as close as it needs to be. Obviously it doesn't need to be spot on perfect because the weld will fill up the hole or gap anyway. Let's just see. I'll cut that and see how it fits. So in this case, the overall shape is just about there. Of course, this is a piece of cardboard, so I can squeeze it and push it into the gap, but a piece of metal, you won't be able to do that. So just trimming it a bit more. I think it needs to lose a little bit at the top or the bottom. Probably the bottom is easier to take it off. So I just need to just be careful with the trimming and then see how we go from there. So trimming it a bit more, and you can sort of see it sort of fits in there nicely. So that would be a good starting point. All right, so next I just need to work out the other panel. So when working on a project like this, it's always a good idea. So with scrap metal, because you never know what will be useful. So here's a bit of scrap from a previous panel. I've got a whole bucket full of little pieces, because you never know, you might want a little small piece to fill in somewhere, and then so save all them little offcuts and scraps, because they can always just be thrown out at the end of the project, but it's useful to keep in case you need them. So I will start off with this panel. I'll just see if it's big enough. It may not be big enough, it looks a bit too small, so we may have to go for a larger piece. Actually we might be able to just get it to fit there. That looks like it would be okay. So it just needs to be marked out. I'm not going to do any cutting at the moment because it's a bit late at night, but I'll get these marked out ready and then cut them. The other thing, it's always a good idea to write in which direction. Obviously the writing is going to go on that way, that's going to sit that way upwards. The other thing too, that's a nice straight edge there already, so I'd prefer that part of the panel to have a straight edge. So place it on there like that. Again, it doesn't have to be 100%, but the closer it is, the better. You can use a pencil to mark it, but obviously it's only going to make a thin line. I prefer to use a permanent marker because then it creates a thicker line. It's a lot easier to see when you are using the grinder. So it's a lot easier to see, and depending on how you're doing your panels, you have to remember where I'm going to cut. So when I cut this out, the black line is not needed. So I'll be sort of cutting sort of right on the edge sort of here, because the black part is not needed, because it's obviously the outside of the template. The crosses just mean that's a bit I don't want. The next panel I'm sort of working out is just the fix up for this pannier divider, and you'll notice that the bottom's all rusted out. So getting all the measurements right, trying to get right angles off the edge of the panel, because it's an irregular shape with a sloping bottom. Trying to get it right. I've got a bit of angle line I've put on there to just try the best. There's the original floor, working out how it needs to sit to support the floor. It's a bit complex. Sort of done a diagram as well to sort of help work out how things are going to be measured, and then from that I sort of still need to create a template. But yeah, it's a bit difficult and fiddly, but not hard. Alright, so from those diagrams, I'm then able to create this the template. So I've done it that way just to make sure that the actual shape is sort of what I need, and then it fits there neatly. So the ruler would be the bottom where the floor is, so that looks a nice fit, and that looks great. And if I just test it down the bottom too, let me just get it right in my head. It would have to sort of, and this one you can sort of see more of a panel on there anyway, so that kind of lines up the bottom, and then this angle up the top there looks good, a nice right angle. Alright, so that's ready to be recreated on steel. Of course, it needs little folds on there to create the edges. Okay, so from those measurements, I'll cut out a few panels now. So that's to fill the hole which is up the top here. So that one's going to sort of fit in that space. This piece here is going to become the L-shaped piece that sort of goes into there for the heel board. I just need to put the folds in there. I'll do that in a moment. And then this piece again, that's ready, but I just need to fold up each of the edges to get it to be the right shape to fit on that bottom of the end panel there. Alright, so let's get these folded. Okay, so I've got the panels prepared. There's that filling piece. That's for the bottom of the heel board. It still needs a little bit more adjusting. That's the piece that's sort of going to fit in there. But again, it just needs to be test fitted before that one gets welded in. I'll do that one last. What else I've got? I've got some weld-through primer. I've never tried this brand before, so I'm going to give that one a go. That's just a spray on the parts of the metal where they're going to be sandwiched together. So I'll give that a go. I'll have to let that dry and then get these bits welded on tomorrow. Alright, just test fitting this bottom section of that divider panel. I need to grind a bit because the gap's a bit too narrow to butt weld that. Also needs a bit of a gap here because the way the level is set, that's the existing floor. The floor needs to sit on top of these centerpieces, so it needs a bit more of a gap here, and then of course a bit more of a gap there to fit the floor panel in. But if I sort of grind down this inside piece a bit more, that should do the trick, because I can always dodgy up this corner and just grind that down a bit, because the floor needs to slide underneath that piece. Alright, finally, yeah, we're at the stage where we're actually starting to put metal back onto the car. I've sort of just welded that patch panel in up the top there. Next, I may actually start filling these holes in that rail that need to be filled up. Okay, so the bottom section of the heel board, that's welded in place. I'm still getting the hang of this welder. Some of them turn out really nice bead. Some of them I still need it's going to need to be ground down anyway, so that's right. So still practicing. Next job will be to get this section fixed up onto there, but I just need to do some adjustments to that, but it's a bit late. I can't use a grinder. Okay, so the body has been flipped over. So now we're up to the left-hand side of the vehicle. This side should be a lot quicker than the right-hand side. All that needs to be done on here, first of all, just remove the upright part of the old floor. So undo the spot welds, take it out. This panel is okay, it just needs to be straightened up from where I've removed the old floor. This piece, I'll have to just investigate and check whether it needs to be replaced. And then of course that old bit of flooring needs to come off it. And then down this end here, that all seems okay, but there's a bit of a crack here. This section of the heel board will need to be replaced, but this side should be a lot easier than the other side. Alright, so I'm going to just get started on that first and take out the spot welds. Okay, so progress update. I've removed all of that, the old floor piece off that inner piece. Just need to clean up a few bits on there. And also I have cut out the rust from the heel board on this side now. I've got some weld-proof primer on there, weld-through primer on that angle piece. So I'm going to tack that into position next. Still need to remove this bit though. Okay, I'm going to leave this video here for now. Just to finish up, I ended up grinding down that a bit. Still needs to, there's a couple of lumps in there, I'll have to sort that out a bit later. What else? Just cleaning up underneath here any of the spot welds that need to be removed, and then the same along the bottom rail. I've also just fixed in that piece there for that bracket. The weld's pretty flat, so the other side I'll just grind where it sort of come through, just to clean it up. And then that end piece I still need to adjust, so I'll leave that for now. So the next thing I need to do is test fit the floor, because it's at the stage where it just needs to be test fitted, and then test fit all of the other panels as well, just to see how everything fits. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching my videos.